One of the stocks that I had touched on just a while ago was Mumias sugar, under extreme pressure this week ever since its results announcement. But yesterday, that company managing a 4.7% rise to 8 shillings 90. What's your view on Mumias sugar? Because undoubtedly, we're starting to see bargain hunters coming back in here.
Well, Alishia, in the past day or so, we actually saw a dip on the share price actually after they released that their profits were down by 22%. Therefore, we saw the share price come down to levels about 840, 850. But again, yesterday we saw some bargain hunters coming in again. I think for me, are those levels actually looking a bit attractive? Between shillings of about 8 shillings, 850 shillings, we are seeing guys coming in again. Yesterday we saw it actually, guys push it up to levels of about 9 shillings. But most of the demand is actually weighing between 850 and 860. So you may see trade between 850 and 9 shillings in the course of the week or the coming next week. But yet again, if you're looking at most of the current stocks in the market, they have been dipping in the past week. KCB down to levels about 22, equity down to levels about 28. We're actually seeing a bit of demand starting to come in, more speculative bargain hunters starting to take positions.
Where we've got those foreign investors pulling out as emerging markets and frontier markets get placed under one umbrella, what kind of activity and interest are we seeing from local investors? Are they starting to recognize some of the opportunity that's cropping up?
Since we had the debacle happening in Egypt, we've actually been seeing a lot of sell side on the foreign side. Actually, I think we're seeing foreigners actually taking profit positions to cushion the losses they're actually taking in Egypt. But you're actually seeing most of the local investors actually have a wait and see position on the market. But as of yesterday, we actually saw a bit of demand coming in on some of the key banking sector stocks. Example, as I said, KCB yesterday, we traded levels of 22, but we saw demand coming in towards close of market. So definitely we may see some demand on some of these counters. KCB, equity, a bit of demand coming in also for Safaricom, down to levels about 440, but it's actually holding there because demand is actually growing on that particular counter. So definitely you're actually seeing local guys starting to come in to actually take some of these positions.
Certainly where we've had many companies sharing their growth aspirations moving forward. Jubilee has been one of those companies just announcing the expansion of its plans or its expansion plans into 12 markets. Run us through what you're making of Jubilee's expansion plans right now, because this of course comes hot on the heels of Athi River Mining's announcement of entrenching its regional footprint as well.
One thing we've seen is that most of the Kenyan companies actually spreading their tentacles out into East Africa and largely into Africa. KCB expanded, Equity has been expanding. Also now Jubilee actually trying to tap into the African market. Basically, I think it's a good move for them. Kenya market, I think we're actually being a bit saturated. So they actually have ways of actually increasing in terms of the premiums that we receive and also the interest income that they're going to receive in the year. So definitely it's actually a good move by Jubilee Insurance to actually diversify their pool of resources. So definitely we may see an impact on the share price.
The difference between a player like Athi River Mining operating in the cement space and Jubilee operating in the insurance space, though, is that you've got that demand out there for infrastructure build on the continent and that driving the Athi River Mining agenda. In Jubilee's instance, the African consumer not as in tune with taking up insurance at this stage. How much of a challenge do you see that posing for the company and its plans?
Definitely a major challenge for them. But if you've noticed, Alishia, the middle class actually in Africa is actually growing. The economies of Africa right now, Kenya in particular, and East Africa, is actually being driven by the middle class. And we're actually seeing a way of whereby people are actually seeing insurance products actually savings for the future, whereby people come in and take premiums for 10, 20, 15 years, actually looking at your retirement benefits at the end of it all. So we're actually seeing it is actually a market available for these people. For them to expand into 12 countries, they have actually seen and targeted, seen that there is a need for insurance products. There is a need. There is a growing middle class region in Africa who are actually looking at their savings in the future. So definitely, it is actually a bit of a tricky situation for them. But I see them actually breaking through.